What one thing do you find yourself complaining about most days? Something you don't have or something you do have? Just think about that for a moment. When we complain about something, our actions usually make us attempt to move away from the thing we're complaining about. And this one action of running away from what we don't want actually takes us to that exact place we're trying to get away from. How so, you may ask? Let's take a common example. This is a typical complaint. I don't have enough money. Okay. So if this was my common complaint, my daily thoughts would revolve around it, and my resultant actions, understandably, would revolve around frantically running away from poverty. And the result would be to remain trapped in poverty. It's like that blood-draining, stomach-sinking part in some horror or thriller films where the victim seems to have escaped and is running away, appearing to get away, only to realize that she's running circles. Or even worse, perhaps the victim waves down a friendly driver on the roadside, only to watch him drive her back to the killer's lair. Hell is an eternal loop, just like this one. And it's counterintuitive, I know, so you've got to get your head around it. If a kid who can't swim falls in a pool, how do they instinctively act? They flail around frantically and then they sink. The first thing they teach young kids who are learning to swim here in Florida, where swimming pools are everywhere, is to learn how to float and simply drift to the side so they can get out. When we stop frantically treading water and just let go, what happens? We float and we drift with the current. So what's the answer then? Stop trying so hard to get away from the things we don't want. So once you've made the switch from focusing on what you don't want to focusing on what you do want, that's the trick. And then what? So now comes the balancing part, right? We neither crave the thing we want and we don't criticize the thing we want, say, oh, screw it, okay. We merely behold it, place our attention on it every day, quietly, expectantly of it. We take actions that will move us towards it, but we don't become attached to the outcome of those actions, which may or may not prove to work or bring us closer. There's no tantrums, there's no giving up. We deliberately float with the desired outcome firmly in mind. Focus and just float. The second part I had to learn the hard way.